Yeah, I've started the recording. So it's getting recorded, right? Yeah, it looks okay. Okay, our first question is like LFU cache. So we have to design and implement a data structure for the LFU that will support following two operations. One is get, other is put. Get is like it will get the value of the key if that is already present in your cache, else it will return -1. And put is like you will insert the value if the key is not already present, and if the cache reaches its capacity, it should invalidate it will cancel the least frequently used item before inserting the new item into the cache. So for the purpose of this problem, if there is a tie, the least recently used key would be removed, evicted. So here we have there is a note point like number of times an item is used in the is the number of calls to get and put functions for that particular item since it was inserted, and this number is set to 0 when the item is removed. Regarding follow up, it's like if we can do both the operations in O of one time. So first time we are putting 1 and 1, second 2 and 2. Now they are asking for get operation, it will return 1. Then 3 and 3, the size is 2, so we are evicting this one, the least frequently used. And then we are asking for 2 since it is not present in your cache, so return -1. Then get 3, return 3. Now when we try to put 4 and 4, it is evicting this. And again get 1 is not present, so it will return -1. Then 3, it will 3 is present, it will return 3, and then 4 and so on. Yeah. So how do you proceed here? Like what would the brute force or any queries in the question? Anyone?
Okay. Yeah. So this is like we just have two functions, right? Like the get
Yeah.
and put. Okay. And it's like we have to do everything in O of one time complexity. That is the only main.
Crux, yeah.
So, okay, someone saying in chat, it looks like a translation look aside buffer, TLBs. Yeah. Okay. So when it comes to operations of O of one, I usually think something like an unordered map, you know. Yeah.
Okay.
And then that's the only thing, right? But when you put something, but yeah, the main thing is you have to find the least frequently used.
Used. Yeah.
So for that, we might use unordered map, so we can maintain a frequency for each and every key, correct? So that
Okay.
can be used. So if it has a higher number of frequency, we can maintain something like a minimum frequency somewhere, okay? And then keep on maintaining frequency map for each and every key, compare with that and see if it is like a least frequency. Then only actually if it is exceeding the capacity, then only we have to remove, right? The least
Yeah.
frequently used. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm one thing what I'm not getting is, uh, yeah, when you are for get key, it is slightly okay, right? So you just have to put some value and a key and then maintain a frequency map, and
Okay.
also yeah, maybe we can maintain a least also there, right? Something, yeah, there are many small
Other.
data structures coming, right?
Yeah. 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 Sure.
Yeah, I think we'll need a doubly linked list, something like that, to uh, access the least frequent element in O of one at least.
But map
Okay.
you will
Otherwise,
have to maintain, right?
sorry.
I think map you will have to maintain for frequency. No.
Yeah, map will for sure need map, but if we want to like remove the least frequently used element, then I
Okay.
think, and in O of one, then I think we'll have to maintain a doubly linked list where at the head we are storing that least frequent element, and then removing that and changing our head, something like that.
Oh, okay, okay, that makes sense. So you are saying like I think what Harshit's saying is even if you use a doubly linked list, right? So that might what you say like serve the purpose of least frequently used as well as get, right?
Yeah. So
But only get might be difficult if it's a doubly linked list, right? So because if you have to,
So that can be like taken care of by the map, I think.
okay, okay. So one is a doubly linked list where we'll be storing all the keys, correct? Okay, and that will
I'm
maintain.
planning to use this just to remove the least frequent element in O of one, because the rest of the things I think that can be made available through the map also. That inserting.
so we
Okay,
won't be inserting in doubly linked list new node.
come again, Shashank.
No, I was saying when we try to insert the element, so we'll be traversing the link, I mean, doubly linked list again from starting till the end point and then insert it, right? So if we have to delete some, what you say, LFU, some least frequently, if that node is in the middle of a doubly linked list, okay, we can backtrack, but yeah, I
No,
mean,
we will maintain a doubly linked list in such a way that we have the least frequent element at its head only, or
Okay.
oh,
Mhm.
maybe that way, or we get because we can delete in O of one also in a doubly linked list.
can we walk through this like example? Then it will be
Yeah,
better.
I'm just thinking loud. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, Harshit, one question. If you need to get an element, that means that need to be pulled towards the head of the linked list, right?
Right. That is what he's saying.
So if that element is somewhere in between the linked list, to search that element, we need O of n time, right?
Yeah, I was saying that. But he's saying he'll design the linked list in such a way that every time the element to be least frequently used will be present at it. Is it? Or
Okay, that is one thing. What he says, if you want to access any element in O of one in a linked list, we can take help of a map, right, Harshit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what
So
is saying
so
you have a
map
map? Uh-huh. Yeah, go
map
ahead.
going to state the key with the value as a address of the node in the linked list.
Yeah, probably we'll have to
Okay.
store the.
Okay. I think then that
Okay.
does make sense, right? Okay. And some address.
Yeah, but Harshit, but even if it's a linked list, there is no proper way to get onto this address. So do you wanna save every address of every list, every key into a map? Like if I have an n number of keys, will I have the address of n number of keys onto the map with their respective key numbers?
Yeah, so I think when you are
Yeah, yeah.
trying to insert something in your doubly linked list, that time when you make the node, you can also hash that node.
Okay, now, okay. Let's see.
Okay. You are talking about hashing the node and storing. Okay.
This way only, the way you have done, like the value and the address, like
Okay.
sorry, the key and the value is the address.
Okay. Okay. So in this map, can we make something like a pair or just
I think if
address?
you have address, we can get the value also. Like we can go to node and get the value that.
Okay, you just have a node which will have address and value, right? Dilip?
Only address is enough. I think so. If you have an address, we can get the value also, right?
Oh, makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Oh,
so then
I'm sorry. Okay, no
why
problem.
to keep the map then? Then if we have to keep only address, set is also,
No.
What is the
Map is for
time?
the address, right?
so it will have key and address both, right? I mean,
Yeah.
only for address will have a key, right?
Map will have key and address of a node in the linked list.
Yeah, but Dilip was saying only address.
No,
Yeah, yeah.
we don't
That
need
is
the
what I
value
say.
of the key.
Okay.
Or you are saying you don't need a key?
No, no, I said the value. We can have it in the node in the linker list anyway. So if you want the value, we can go to the address and get the value. So no need of storing address and value for a key.
Makes sense, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Just one more question. When I need to search an element, as when I need to search a key, I will look into the map. Okay, so it will take some like a constant time. Then I'm just gonna look into the just I will get the address, but I have to update the address of other keys as well. Nah? But then ultimately it is gonna take me n minus one. It will gonna take me n time because I'm gonna update every address na, at that time.
No, because see, if we have an
Yeah.
address on a map for a key, we just either get it from that linked list. And what is saying, when we are doing a get function, we remove that element from the linked list and put it in the head, and insert it at the head. Okay, so that is one thing we have done in get.
Oh yeah, that is in constant time. Okay.
Right, that is constant. For put, what will happen is, whenever, okay, the first thing will be like we find a key. So there will be three cases, right? Input. One is if it is present. Okay, if key present. So for if key present, what we can do is we can go look for the address. Okay, in the same linked list, we can modify. Before modifying, we just actually put it in the head and then modify or whatever it is, right? But we'll have to remove it from that location and then again change the map value also for that address. No, I think the address will remain same because it's a node, right? So we just insert it in. So that is one
And
key
why?
to do. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, yes, Santosh. I have just a question. Then,
Mhm.
then why do we even need a doubly linked list? I think this can be done with a single link. We have to every time we have to update the address of linked list if we add some operation of get, and we have to just insert the values. Okay.
It will
No,
minimize
where
the
are we updating?
It's not updating is when you get a key. Okay, it's because once you get a key, you have to make it in the front. Okay, either in the front or you will have to make it on the top uh, because you have to update its length every time. Because if the length, yeah. So,
So basically, when you call the get function for a particular key, that particular key becomes the most frequently used key, right?
yeah, because next time when you gonna use something, it has to be kept in like it kept in the cache that this key is used in the past operation. Okay, so that's why there has to be something that it has to be bring at the front or at the top to keep a note of it that this operation is used recently. Yeah, how will you keep this note key? Yeah, that you have used this key in the past operation. There has to be an operation which has to take place.
Well, I'm okay. So, are you saying that like for get operation or put operation?
I'm saying for even get operations, Santosh, because every time if you wanna, yeah, suppose there are 1, 2, 3. Okay, if I'm gonna take 3, I have to keep a note that for the upcoming operations that I have used. So if I took 3 out of it, for the upcoming operation, I have to keep a note that 3 is used in the past operation. So if something has to be removed, okay, it would not be 3 until the length is not like the for the limited size.
Yeah. So what we will do is we'll move 3 to the head. Okay. We'll remove it from the tail. And so whenever we want to remove, okay, now remove part will come to that later. But if we have to remove, we'll remove from the tail, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's a very broad level we are actually brainstorming. It might not be the exact way it will be. There will be fine tunings in it to actually really implement this LFU cache, whatever this class is. Correct, right, Arjun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So in this
so
case, like, how do we access this last element of the W linked list? Is there some function?
Like you should be having something like the pop back or front, something like that, right?
Okay. Okay.
That is what I'm assuming. I think it should, or else you can use a queue also, something like that, maybe. Okay, Ronnie
Yeah,
has,
maybe a DQ.
yeah, DQ also. Okay, I'll just quickly go through the chat. People have some input
Yeah,
there.
Yeah,
you can push
In
from
the
one
meantime,
side
you
and
guys discuss, yeah.
maybe he's saying something.
But are these only two data structures enough, or because I'm slightly worried on the put part. Someone was saying min heap. I am not sure if min heap will help, but yeah, we can think about that though.
the put part we can simply insert as you explained just now on the head, right?
Yeah, yeah. Put part we can say if we first we if we have already a key present, we can go to the address, look at that address, we can update
Right.
and put it. But
Right.
if we have something fresh, we have to add, right? In that case, we'll have two things, right? So one will be it is new anyway, it is fresh, but second is if our capacity exceeds and if it's under capacity.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So if it is under capacity, it is very easy. We just actually insert append at we insert at the header, correct?
Right. So we do two things. First, we
Mhm.
also insert in the map so that
Okay.
next time we try to put this element, we know that it's already in the DQ. So we do not insert it again. We just make it point to the head. And yeah, and then we put in the W linked list, like if it's not
Okay.
there.
Okay. Head of leaks. Okay. And now if it is if we have exceeded the capacity, okay. So in that case, first we have to remove something and that will be removing it from the back.
Right.
Okay.
No, first we'll check in the map, right? Whose frequency is lesser, right?
No, but that's what we are doing. No, we are maintaining this W linked list in such a way that the least frequent element is at the tail.
Yeah.
So we'll get that in OF1.
Okay, so we remove from the tail. Shashank will come to your point. I think there might be something to discuss more about that.
Yeah,
One
sure.
is first, actually, we remove from the tail because it's the least frequently used. Okay, and then we have to do the same what we did for the way we did in 2, right? Because that will be a fresh one. Okay,
New, yeah.
so like the above 2. Okay, so we have to do again. We have to create an address in the map, and then we have to insert in the double linked list head. Right. So this looks okay, at least on a broad level to explain, and but I'm sure there might be some more things to take into consideration.
Yeah, there's that thing also. Like if the frequency is same, then we have to use the least recent one.
That
Yeah, that is a critical
that is
part.
also maintained according to linked list, right? Because even if two elements have same frequency, that will be both at the end, and the one which was least frequently used will be at the end, because after that something else was fetched with the same frequency. So anyway, we'll get the one in with the least frequency with
Right.
least used.
Yeah, looks good. Yeah, looks that way.
Mm, well, I didn't catch that. What, Dilip? What was that about?
There was a condition about if two elements, if you need to remove an element from this LFU cache,
Mm-hmm.
and if both of them have the same frequency, which
Mm-hmm.
one we need to remove?
Right. Okay, so
Which one?
in this case, our approach won't work, right?
It works. It works, right?
Oh, see, if we are saying if we have two values, okay, or two keys of the same frequency, then how do we decide?
Yeah,
See,
that's
no.
Um, hey, I have a question here. So it's least frequently used. It's not least recently used, right? So
Yeah.
removing from the tail will not remove the least frequently used. That removes the least recently used.
Correct. I think I agree there. Absolutely.
Yeah, so the
So
first
we
part
are
of the
LRU,
problem,
right? Okay.
the first part of the problem will not get solved. Like the LFU will not get solved if you remove from the tail.
Yeah. So I think we are thinking on the terms of LRU here, right?
Yeah,
Same thing.
yeah.
Oh, well, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, absolutely.
That's okay. Yeah, almost they are similar. I mean, here little bit.
Yeah, it's slightly same. Yeah. But then, okay, in that case, what we'll have to do is we'll have to maintain something like a frequency map, sure, okay, for having keys and frequency of each and every key, or maybe we can insert in this map also in this address, along with this address, we can insert something like a frequency. Okay, I don't know. But other than that, this linked list part, we cannot use directly, right? So we'll have to maintain based on this frequency. Okay, we'll have to maintain different linked list, something like that.
So
Main heap won't work.
Yeah, so in that case, yeah, there will be other things coming up, right? Yeah. Okay. So
But minheap won't be constant, I think, right?
minheap won't be constant. Yeah. Then how do you even if we have to, you know, what you say, randomly access any of the elements, that won't be possible in a minheap, correct?
yeah, only
Yeah.
top of the element will be accessible.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
So I think for now we will keep aside the minheap, and as also we won't be able to use this doubly linked list directly. We can use something different, right? So okay, so what we can use in this case then? Any thoughts on that?
I
So
think
what
we'll
do you mean
somehow
by
have
that?
to use.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was saying, what do you mean by randomly picking element in minheap? I mean,
Oh yeah.
I
So here in this map, when we want to access when we perform this get function, right? Okay,
Okay.
so we go in a map, get the key, and then go to that address and pick up any node from anywhere, and then we are pulling that node and pushing it to the head of the linked list, right? So that was
Yeah.
being done in a random access of in the list, right? Because we had the address of the node. But if it is a min heap, we cannot go to that node, right? We cannot pick up any of the addresses.
Mean will always be present at the top, right? Of the top
No,
of the linked list. Sorry,
no,
heap.
that's true. But our get is not actually looking for min, right? It is looking for any element anywhere.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we can maintain a hash map along with a min heap.
Okay.
So,
Hash map
in
along
min-
with a min heap.
yeah, so our hash map would contain all the key value pairs, and min heap will have the least frequency, the element with the least frequency. So in case we need to remove, we can just do a min heap hop and remove that element from the hash map. So something around that.
But when you insert in a minheap,
Mhm.
how do you like take care of that? Because that would be O of log of n, right?
Log n,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, that would not be in a big of constant time. That will definitely not.
But
Yeah.
we can use it.
Mm,
I
yeah,
mean, complexity wise may not be good.
right,
but-
right, right.
I kind of think that we have to use a DQ somewhere, because that's the only way to get O of 1, right?
Right.
Santosh, just one more question.
Sure.
Can you make a different? Can you make some clarity between least recently used and least frequently used?
Okay,
Some
so
example. I can't.
so the least recently used was like when we were actually using if we use any of the element, okay, and then we were actually inserting it at the head. So the one which was at the tail was the least recently used, right? But when you come for least frequently used, what we need to do is we have to maintain a frequency of each and every key, okay, and so we'll have to go to the frequency which is the least one in our case, and then remove that. Okay. So, but in the least recently used, the one at the end might also be which has a higher frequency, right?
Yeah.
So that can happen anyway. But here in this case, we have to go and find out. They are slightly similar, but there is a very thin line in that. So in that case, we'll have to maintain a frequency list. So I think in that case, we can actually have a map, okay, with frequency, and then so this frequency, whatever we are having it here, and this with something like a linked list or DQ or whatever it is. Okay. So we can go to this map, this frequency map, and find out, and we can maintain something like a min frequency outside. Always we can update whenever we do a change. Okay. And we can look at that frequency, and then when we can go to the list, this linked list, and we can find out which is the element, okay, which we want to remove. So
I'm just trying with little examples to clarify this.
Sure.
Every
Okay.
time I just, so can we have like ABC, like 3 things, ABC?
Okay. Shall I clear this? I think this is okay, right?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
understood. Okay.
Clear.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
I can, I think
you
if
can try on
anyone
this.
can,
Yeah. You can try on it. Yeah. No problem.
I just have a mouse, I think.
Okay. If you
So
want, I can help you. Tell me what you want.
If we have ABC, so C was inserted first of all. Then B, then A.
Let's
Okay.
take these keys instead of ABC. So we can say like a 1, 2, 3 should be fine.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Okay. The
Okay.
size is 3. Okay. Yeah. Size is 3. Okay. So every time I am getting 3, so 3 has to be bring onto the front. Okay. So I need to access 3. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So you are saying we already have a LFU cache of 1, 2, 3, and then you are actually trying to get 3.
3, yeah. So now again we are getting 3. Okay. So
Okay, you are getting 3 for the second time. Okay.
yeah.
And what else?
And again getting, now I'm getting 2 for 2 again. Okay. So 3 is getting 3 time, 2 is getting 1 time, and 1 is getting 1 time. Okay. Okay. But it is at the like, okay. So 3 is getting 3, is accessing 3 times, 2 is accessing 2 time, and 1 is accessing once.
Okay.
Okay.
So your frequency map will be something like for 3, it will be 3 because we already have 1, 2, 3 in this. And so these 3, and then this 2 will be 2 and 1 will be 1. Okay. So these are
Yeah.
the keys and these are the frequencies. Okay.
And next time I am putting 4 into the map. Okay. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So our capacity is 3, you are saying. Now you are trying to put 4. Okay.
Yeah.
So 4 has some value, something like 10 or something like that. We don't care for that now. Okay. So in this case, how do we handle it, right?
So yeah.
Okay. So in this case, as per me, okay, maybe you can add that later, whatever you think. Okay. So what we will do is we will go to this frequency map. Okay. And we'll try to find out which is the least frequency. So here I find 1 is the least frequent one. Correct. So what I will do is I will actually evict this guy completely, as well as I will remove it from this one. Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then I will first make an entry. Okay. I'll have to put this here, as well as I'll have to make an entry here. Okay. This is my 4. And now this value will be 1.
So how will you put 4, front or back? I mean, will that matter or what?
Well, this is actually, this should not be any, we can insert anywhere. Okay. As long as we are able to access it in O1. Right. So for that, I would think we can use a map like someone was saying, like map with a key and a list. Okay. And so in that list, we should again have the way Harshit said, map with the address. So we'll have to have 2 maps. Right. So one will be like, because I have to access this one, the way I wanted to access this one for the least frequency, I will have a frequency and then I will have a linked list or a DQ or whatever. And I will have another map, okay, which will have a key and address, okay. And this will also have a frequency, something like that, a node or so.
Couple, yeah.
So whenever I go to key, I can find the frequency. From the frequency, I can go to the linked list. But in this linked list, I cannot access the linked list in a O of 1. For that, I can use this address. Right? So I can use this address and exactly go to this linked list and then pick it up from there. Something like that. Okay.
Yeah. So how will you find the minimum frequency value? Like it will be something, no?
Okay, so minimum frequency, I will have some variable outside, okay, on my and maybe it will be something like global for now, but it's not good though. And then minimum value, I will actually, whenever I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, I will keep on updating. This is my 1, right? So, and when I've removed the one, so I know that this is going to be second. So I update that. But when I insert 4, I know that it is going to be again 1. So whenever I'm actually putting some value, I have to update this frequency minima.
No, but for example, you have one element with one frequency. You remove that.
Okay.
And you need to remove that.
Right.
Then the next frequency may not be 2. It could be some 10 or 15 or something like that.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Then Minheap will take care, like,
Yeah,
Maybe
so
a queue min heap with only frequencies can give us a minimum frequency, but that would be often.
okay, so when you are actually removing, okay, so you are going to remove only when you want to put an element, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you are putting an element, so if you are putting that for the first time, okay, you know that's going to be the least frequent one. So
Maybe
that
it
you
could
can
be,
have the answer, right? So that would be 1.
no, it can be update also, not only new element, but it can be update also.
Okay, so if you are updating, you already have a frequency for that element.
Yeah.
So you are
But
just going to increment that frequency of that element, and you are just going to move from one bucket to another.
But how will you know the second least bucket, like frequency? Because the element which you updated, maybe the third list frequency. Now it went to fourth least frequency, but
Yeah.
you need to get the second least frequency element.
So in that,
Frequency number.
yeah, but in that case, you don't have to modify the frequency min, or we don't care, right? Because the capacity is not going to change. Your capacity will only change when you are going to put a fresh element.
Yeah, true. Okay.
So that, I think I understood your point. It's a very tricky there also. There might be some corner case we'll have to handle, but on a broad level, it should be something like this. That is what I think.
Yeah. Maybe now it works. It makes sense now. Yeah. Thanks.
so you'll make a map, and then depending on frequency, you will take the least one. So 2 maps you'll be maintaining, right?
Yeah, it looks like 2 maps. So this is what I'm coming up for now. But yeah, if for a frequency, if we have some corner cases, then we'll have to think of something more. But
And
on a
we'll
high
be,
level like this,
yeah.
what I'm this is just brainstorming. Okay, I'm not saying that is perfect. Okay, so Dilip brought a point, and I thought that try to explain what my thoughts are in that. So there might be some corner cases where I might be wrong. So what else you guys want to say about this, and anything more in that?
I think at surface level, this seems good, looks good.
Yeah,
only.
this looks on a high level. But for only for, I was also thinking about the min heap. So the min heap, the problem of min heap is only thing is you cannot access any of the nodes in O of 1, and that is a problem. So min heap is a very good one. So I think Bhavish was saying like that indexed binary search or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
That data structure, right? Yeah. So that would be really helpful in some cases like that. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
some binary indexed, I don't know.
Yeah, he mentioned something when we were actually working on some similar type of data
Priority
structure.
queue only, I think he mentioned some
Index priority queue. Yeah. So because that is min heap, right? So index priority queue, you can go in any of that level, and you can index that particular element, and you can change the value. Okay, and that can happen in O of 1, I think. Something like that. So that will be very helpful over here. Instead of having all these so much of stuff, right? Yeah, you're right, Shashank. It's index priority queue.
That data structure is rarely used, right? I haven't seen much in use that.
Yeah, but
index
he had something about it. Yeah, we might have to read about it and then see. Yeah. So anyone has an implementation wants to walk through about this?
I think a doubly linked list was Harshit was mentioning at the beginning. That would be the efficient one, but
yeah, but that actually tends towards that LRU, right? So
no, in this also I saw DL they are using, but I couldn't understand.
Okay,
much.
no problem. So does anyone want to have a?
We can move to discussion then.
Okay. So well, okay. Before going to discussion, I'll just go through mine.
Yeah, sure.
That might also be almost similar what I was looking for. It's not that I okay. I'll have to open. Sorry for that. Just give me a minute. Do you know what the number of this problem is? Shashank?
Number, yeah, sure.
83.
Just a sec.
83.
83?
Yeah.
460.
Oh, sorry. 40.
460, right?
Yeah.
Well, I went through one of the posts and I just got that. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay. So now, okay, there is slightly different thing over here. So one is, okay, there are three maps. Okay. One is actually the key value pair. Okay. So you have this key over here and then you are storing the value, and I think there is a frequency also. And here actually you're storing the key, and then this is the actually accessing the linked list, okay. And this is the third one is the frequency map. So this will be the frequency, and then this will be the linked list. And this iterator from this one actually will be used over here. Okay. So just setting the capacity over here and then actually going through this get function. So if I don't find the key, just return -1. And if I have a key and if I want to get a value, so what I need to do is first go to the frequency map. Okay. Okay. And then in that frequency map, so I'm going to use this key, okay, in this this map. Using this maps key, I'm going to find what is the frequency. So I'm actually storing the frequency here. Okay, let me write it here.
What is the second doing? Dot second.
Which one?
The dot second 18 number line. I mean frequency mem of key and dot second.
So this you have a pair, right? So in this
Oh,
pair, so this is the frequency. So that is the second one.
okay.
Okay. So in this map, I'm having a, this will be the frequency. Okay. This is the key. Okay. And this is the value. Okay. And if I go for here, so this will be the key. And this will be the, yeah, this will be the address actually. And if I go here, in this case, this will be the frequency, and this will be the actually the list. Okay. So for each and every, this frequency map actually for each and every frequency will be having a list. Okay. So all same frequencies will be in this map. Okay. And for the iterator, what we are going to, now we have the frequency and list mapping. But if you want to find an exact position of a particular element, we'll go to this iterator map. Okay. And then from the key, okay, I can get an address using this iterator, which is already inside this list. So I can just remove that or maybe do something in order of 1.
1, yes.
Okay. So first thing is now.
Hey, Santosh, just a second. What is the first map for? What is the key value there?
Okay, so the first map is the general one, which we put any key, which will have a value, and it will have its frequency also.
Can you? So let's say I'm doing a cache dot put of 1. So the key is going to be 0. Value is 1.
Okay.
Frequency is 1.
So okay, which one you are saying? Cache dot.
Okay, the first one, cached output of
One,
1,
one.
1.
Okay. So in that case, what will happen is, okay, so if our map is clean, we don't have anything in that, sorry, the LFU cache is clean. So in that case, here the key will be 1, okay, and the value will be 1, the frequency also will be 1, right? And also in my frequency map, I will make an entry for 1, okay, and also I'll put the key in the
So
list.
key and value are same or what? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, they're not the same. I mean, in this case, so let's say we put cached output of 1, 2. Like first 2 got put and then 1 got put. Let's interchange the numbers. Then what will happen to the key and value?
So you are saying in this case, what we were doing, so,
Yeah.
okay.
Cached output of 2, 1. Then cached output of 1, 2.
Okay, so in that case, what will happen? Okay, I'll use annotate here for some time, and then, oh man, so sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, this went off. Where was I? Okay, yeah. Okay. Well, I will just address it over here. So if we have now, if I have key as 1, right, and the value should be 2, right, and then you are saying if I have key as 2 and its value is 1, right? So
Yeah.
in this first map, what will happen? Okay, so I will have a key which I will put that as 1. Okay, so value will be 2. Okay, and the frequency will be 1 in this case, right? So if I put the second one, okay, so I put the 2 as a key, value will be 1 and frequency will also be 1, right?
Yes.
And in my second map, that is the FM, what I will do is I will have an FM. In that case, I will have 1 as the frequency. And then I'm going to put, because it's a linked list and I'm going to just push it from behind, right? So first I will push 1 and then I'll push 2. So this will be my linked list.
Yeah.
Right. And this map iterator actually doesn't hold much. It's only holding the addresses for each and every key, right? So more if you look at it, it's only we are more interested in M and FM.
Okay.
Right.
So when we say key, we basically mean like the position, right? Like the cache position, I guess.
I don't think so.
Key is key value pair, so that is what it is. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, more
They
like
are
an
showing
index.
it. Yeah.
More like yeah. Okay.
I can say that because in the example they are showing like 1 1 2 2 3 3 4 4.
Yeah.
But if you look at the test case, they are not like that. You can have anything.
Okay.
So keys actually. So what is the conclusion for this?
Sorry.
I mean, what is the conclusion for key? Like, what is key?
Okay, key value pair, just like that. Okay, so we have to consider both are very important for us. Only thing is we are going to maintain the key as a, what you say, like if we are going to have a frequency map, we are going to have frequency along with the key. We are not going to have a value. We only access the value when we need it. Okay. So for now, just because it's very confusing when they show say everywhere 1 1 2 2. I was also thinking both are the same, but it is not. There might be when you are updating, you can update 4 to some value also, like 10, 11, 12, something like that. So you'll have to have that value always present. Right. So that is more interesting because so you'll have to have a frequency of keys, but values, the previous value is destroyed when we update that with the new value. But in the keys, we have to maintain the frequency, correct?
Yeah.
So, okay, so if we have these 3 and then I have this minimum frequency over here, okay, that is a global member variable, and then we have the capacity and as I think size also, right? So size is also important to understand what the capacity is, right? So after that, then you come here in the frequency map, and then I actually get whatever, the frequency, the second, using this map, I'm going to find what is my frequency. Okay, because I have to, change that one, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And then I go in that frequency where my frequency least will be, right? And then I erase that, okay, using my iterator, because I know if I put that key in this iterator, I know where my position of that particular key value pair is, right? So I'm just going to remove it from this list. So that is what the whole thing you over here sees. And then,
Right.
yeah. And then this guy actually just increments the frequency.
Second plus, yes.
Yeah. And then again, when I have to remove this and then I have to push that in the linked list in the back side, it seems. Yeah, it is pushing at the back side. So it goes to the end. Okay. And this is the way he's actually storing the address. And the address, actually, he goes to the end because we have pushed that to the back. But end will actually be a void value or something like that, right? And so if you just decrement that, so that will be the last second value, which is the real value of what you push at the back. And that is the way he's storing that iterator. He could have done it pushing in the front, so that he could have used a doubly linked list, something like that, or a DQ, right? And then you could have used from the beginning, but this is the way he used. Okay.
Right. So basically, he's storing this particular element at the back of the list, right?
Right. Yeah. Every time he just picks up and then pushes that to the, but actually the frequency is increased, right? So therefore he has to put in a different bucket.
Right. Frequency has increased. So basically, he has to update his list and put this element at the back so that he knows that this is the least frequent one.
Yeah. And then actually, if it is the frequency size of particular frequency is 0, then we have to make it 1, right? So that is what is being done here. And then just return the value. Okay, so now actually when we go to put, that is slightly more complex. So if the capacity first step is 0, less than 0, you return. Well, I thought this is a very weird case, why it should be, but yeah, I saw a test case, where the value is 0, the capacity. So I think that is what this is a corner case. And now when we have to put, so he is using the get exactly the way what we did above. He just using the get and find what the stored value is. Okay, so at least he can, eliminate replicating the whole code again over here. And if the stored value is -1, okay, so the stored value will be -1 if it was not present, right?
Right.
So it means a fresh one. So if it is a fresh one, then actually you again have to store the key value pair, that's all, and then return. Because you already do everything there, right? Okay, because if it is -1, it means, yeah, it is already updated. The whole thing is updated here. Okay, so if it is not -1, sorry, all of the stuff is updated over here. Your all of FM frequency map and the iterator, everything is updated. So you just have to, change this value. Right, so now he's putting this value and the value is not same, but you already have that element present. If it is not, if the element is not, then it will become -1 and then actually it will go down also, right? So in that case, he's going to check if in that case the size is, if the size is lesser than the cap, we don't have to do this. But if the size is if it's greater than or equal to cap, then we have to do all that stuff. But before that, if you look at the way he is doing over here, so it's like he's going to this M key value pair. He's just updating that because that's the first time he's putting any of that. So the frequency will be 1, right? And so using this frequency 1, he's just pushing that at the end, correct? And then the same thing he's doing for the iterator. He's updating that iterator. And then the minimum frequency will be 1 in this case. So this is the way, I think Dilip also was saying. So I think this is the way most of the time when you're putting it, so the minimum frequency is always going to be 1, right? So or else, yeah, so they have not specifically said anything about how to update if the minimum frequency is not 1, but I think always the minimum frequency will remain 1. Okay, but
otherwise that element will not be hash map.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, it's very difficult to digest, but I think it will be that case. And then you increment the size. Yeah.
If it is always 1, then we can directly remove the value in first with the first one frequency.
I know, yeah. But yeah, okay. But we can see if there are some test cases like that. Yeah. But you see, if there is nowhere they are updating the minimum frequency. Absolutely nowhere.
Uh, so can you please go to the code of get, uh, Santosh? Hey.
Sure.
So at line number 33, we are incrementing this minimum frequency.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. But in this case also, if the minimum frequency size is equal to 0, right?
Yes.
Okay. If the minimum frequency size, okay, it can be anywhere. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So he's updating that. So he's
what does this
updating.
mean, like size equal to 0? That means that we haven't, like we don't have any element for this minimum frequency, right?
Yeah. So it will be again 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seems like that.
Okay. So I had a different question actually. So is there a guarantee that if if at FM the minimum frequency vector is 0, then I will increment it by 1. So that element will, that minimum frequency will be valid.
Come again.
So at line number 33, I increment minimum frequency. Right? Say initially its value was 1, and we did something. It's now that that becomes 0. So we incremented it. It became 2 minimum frequency. Now, is there a guarantee? Is there an implicit guarantee in the problem statement that minimum frequency 2 is a valid value?
I think yes, because the element which we try to get will get an frequency +1. So minimum frequency will also be +1.
Yeah, and so that we might remove something there, and the bucket will still be there, right?
Yeah.
And then.
But so when we kind of when we call get for an already present key, then where are we like incrementing this minimum frequency? Because I don't think we are incrementing it anywhere.
Yeah, it's only here.
Yeah, and that also, this is when we are putting it initially. So this would be called only once for a particular frequency.
Okay, but if we actually do get many times, so we will be incrementing.
For a particular frequency, I think this would be called just once. This if.
Yeah, it looks like, but yeah, if we can think of a test case, we can run and print something here,
If I put something like 1, and I get that, so that frequency goes to 2. Now I put a new element. If I get that for the second time, that frequency for the 1 is 2. Then we do the same thing for 2, 3, 4 like that. So we're going to hit this condition 4 times, right?
No, but we won't have the size to be 0, right?
Yeah, size won't be 0. Okay, the frequency size actually, FM is something to do with the lease. Yeah, so you'll have to have something in the lease, right?
Yeah.
Hey, can you scroll down, please? Like the last part of the put. Okay.
Yeah, so we are just to do with this also. Okay, we'll come to the frequency, minimum frequency later. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. What you are thinking about?
No. I mean, I was no, actually, no, my bad. We are somewhere incrementing the size plus, right? And we are always looking at
size plus here.
Size, like the line number 33 was it this size that we were seeing? No, it was not. No, it was not this size.
No, this is the size of the linked list.
Yeah, it's the size of the list. Yeah.
So size actually is incremented here in the initialized to 0 in the constructor, and whenever you put some value, so then only you increment the size, or If your capacity increases, you decrement the size and then you increment it again here. So you are actually in this capacity, actually this is the place where we actually remove the least frequently used, right? So that is the only small thing what we do here. So what we do is we go for the minimum frequency, we just find it from the front, okay? Because the one which is in the least at the front will be the least frequently used in that particular bucket. So we will erase that from this map, okay? And then also we will, change this, the iterator, okay? Because we have to change this iterator also because we,
Right. So we remove the front.
yeah. And then we actually pop it from this frequency map also, and then we decrement the size because we actually have to add all this stuff here, right? So we are going to update that. So that is the only thing we do different for if the capacity size is greater than or equal to the capacity.
I think
Yeah.
it would never be greater than. It would always like we'll come to this loop like when they are equal. Because we
Okay.
won't let the size be greater than capacity.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
overall
this.
time complexity, what would be like?
So time complexity has to be O of 1 for each and everything. But yeah, you have many of these unordered maps. Yeah, so there will be some overhead. But yeah, so big O of 1 everywhere.
No, constantly.
Yeah. Because they are all unordered map. Yeah, so the only thing is about the minimum frequency. Yeah, so okay.
Can
Yeah,
you
sorry.
print this minimum frequency like for any test case?
Okay. So where you want me to put the minimum frequency? Maybe everywhere.
It is printed after this if only, like line number 34. Or, yeah.
Okay, so we can actually look for some test cases. Yeah, it is getting incremented to 1 to 1 to 1 to many places. So, okay, we have put 2. Okay, the size is 2, and then we are actually putting 1, 1, right? So when we are putting 1, 1, this minimum frequency is 1, okay? And this, okay, so I'm sorry, we are not doing it for put, right? We are doing it for the get, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are doing it for the get. So we did put 1, 1, we put 2, 2, and then we did get 1. So in that case, the minimum frequency was 1. Okay. So then we did get 3, 3. And then get 1, and then we put 3, 3. And then we did get 2. In that case, the minimum frequency was 2. Yeah. Yeah, because Harshit, that is right. So what happens, why it is incremented? Because when it is going to the next bucket, okay, so at that time, that size will always be 0, right?
Next vector, next list you mean?
No, actually not. Yeah.
So let's first see what is this FM doing like. What is this FM storing?
Well, the FM actually is nothing but it is the frequency and then the least, right? So it is maintaining buckets of each and every frequency.
Right.
So this FM is just maintaining the bucket. So whenever, okay, so if you are increasing, so when you are getting, so what you need to do is you need to actually, you are pushing it back, and then you are incrementing the frequency. Okay, so you are just pushing it here, and then, okay. Because if you are going to the next one, and then you are removing it from one bucket, like we did for the 2, right? So in this case, so here the frequency will be 1, okay? Then when you come here for the 2, earlier the frequency was 1, because
Right.
2 was in the, what do you say, frequency 1 bucket. So then when you do this 2, okay, so then you are incrementing, but
No,
then
but
it should not be
we're
0.
not updating frequency. Okay, okay. We are updating frequency when you're calling this put function, right?
Get function. So it is
Get function.
updating only when it is
Right.
reading, right? So here you actually put 1 1, so all these frequencies were 1 1, and then when we did get over here, so what we did is we moved this get, which was already in the 1, and then we moved it to buckets 2, right? So that is what we did over here. Okay, so it is being done for the next one. Okay. So, but the minimum frequency will be 0. So the minimum frequency remains 0 for all. Okay. So when you are putting, but it is always 1. Yeah. Okay. So that's slightly trickier. Okay, maybe I'll update that later. I'll go through it properly and then get back to you guys. Okay.
So in put also we are calling get method. If you see in line 42.
Oh yeah. So that is where actually it is being called. So here actually he is calling it here, and then he is incrementing the min. Yeah.
Yeah. So consider a scenario where you put 1 1 and put 1 2. So the minimum frequency will be 2, right? Like you have accessed 1 twice, right?
Right.
You can
right.
update also. So
Right,
then
but
minimum
how-
frequency will be 2.
Yeah, go on with it. Sorry.
Yeah.
So,
So
but
it won't.
how are you updating that minimum frequency? Because you won't come in this if condition, right?
No, but you have to go to the next bucket in that case. Because if you are updating 1 2 and then 1 2 1 1 and 1 2, if you're just using those two, so first actually you put that, right? So in this case it will be 1, right? So the first time when we put 1 1, it will be 1, and if we take another example like 1 2, so here in this case it will be 1, okay, and then I don't think we do anything here, we just return it from here, right? Okay, so for the first 1 1, then we we again put, if we put 1, okay, if we put 1 2, it means that we are updating, right? So in that case, if we do put 1 2, so it will come here, it reads again that, so it increments this frequency. Okay, so the frequency will be 2, and then it will be, but it should store in that bucket, right? The minimum frequency bucket. So that I'm not getting. Yeah.
I think that's duplicated. We don't need to worry as long as we have like minimum frequency.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. I think, yeah, but there's some trick in that. Yeah.
Can you execute 1 1 and 1 2? Like just put that.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'll just go back.
We have given more than an hour here.
Okay. So
Yeah, this
you
was
are saying 1 1 and 1 2, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's too much of time, right? Sorry. Okay. Let's move on.
No, it's okay.
So here 1 1. Okay, so I just did 1 1 and 1 2. So the first in this 1 1 also, it is actually showing 2. Okay, now actually slightly becoming more, because when we do get 1 1, okay, it comes here. Okay, so it does print. It should print 1, right, in this case, but it is printing
No,
2.
it's not there, so it will return right away. It will return -1.
Okay, so it will
Yeah,
return -1, so it won't be there, and therefore it is not printing. Yeah.
but then why?
Quite tricky.
Yeah, it won't do here, so it will go down, and then it will increment frequency from here. That is the first one. And then when it comes for the second time, actually it will, access that. But at that time, so this minimum frequency will be, which will be 2 in this case. Yeah. This will be 2. Yeah.
It should be 1, right? At this point.
No, so what he's saying that 1 1, 1 1 actually it is -1, yeah. So there is some trick he has used, very efficiently implemented.
We could have handled this in a better way.
Yeah, it's confusing, but maybe the author thought it was the best way to implement. Yeah. Okay. So sorry about that. It's not complete one. Yeah.
We got the clear-cut picture of that.
Yeah. So if you want to go with some other approach, that's good.
If somebody has done with double linked list.
This is double linked list only. I think this is DLL only.
In first case, Santosh approach can't be implemented in something like Python, right? We don't have addresses.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. How do you do that in Python?
I thought they are using double linked list only in Python.
Okay.
But, I couldn't get much in that.
And also, how do we do in Java? So you can use an iterator, right? That should be possible in Java.
There was a really good explanation in the discussion, but it's really long.
Your first one, right?
Yeah, that one.
Sentinel and all he has explained. I mean, the term itself I heard first time. I'm sure.
Wow. Sentinel node, right? Yeah.
What Sentinel means?
Island I have heard. A node I don't know.
Sentinel node is actually some node. Well, okay, I have to recollect, but it is very sort of a popular word. Yeah.
Someone reads and understand, we can discuss in Discord.
Yeah, it's a very good, clearly he has explained, but I think some computer architecture, if somebody knows bit well, because there only is sentinels and how the key value frequency. I'm not sure. We can keep it for Sunday, like in that same list that we are collecting.
Oh, so what is the way they have implemented in Java? Okay, maybe this is a very ideal case, but a normal way, even if the time complexity is slightly on the higher side.
Java.
Yeah, he is using the 3 hash maps, right?
Yeah, I am.
If you could just go to the previous screen, what was that?
Okay. So you're telling second one, right?
Yeah, this guy, yeah. So it looks easy. No, yeah, he's also using integer values, then counts. And then he's using linked list, but I'm not sure how actually he goes and accesses O of 1.
It looks similar to you, I think.
Yeah, similar, but then how is accessing a particular list? O of 1 times. Counts and then force and then get remove. Contains key. Okay, so if it's a get, and then if you have a key, if he finds vals, I think vals.contains key is vals is a hash map. So if the key is not present, he returns -1, or then he goes counts is also another hash map. He gets the key. What is the count? That is the frequency, right? Yeah, and then he updates the frequency by putting that in the counts key, and then again he gets the count of whatever that frequency, and he removes that. Okay, so now he actually increments the bucket, which is minimum minimum is a bucket, and then he finds if that count least, actually I think this is another least is another this one, right? Okay, it's another, yeah, hash map.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, then if it contains that count plus 1, okay, so the count is the frequency. Okay,
So
so
it's-
min is just nothing but the frequency min, what we were discussing there. And then he looks for if that already has a particular bucket of that. If it is not, then he creates a new bucket along with the new hash map, and then he puts that, right? So he puts that of count 1, he adds that key to that particular, okay, and then he gets, okay. So that is the reason the minimum frequency is incremented by 1. Okay. So he goes and looks for whatever the current minimum frequency is. Okay. And if the least of get count of the next, okay, of this current frequency count is 0, then only increment is the minimum value, or else he is not going to increment it. Right? It's similar to what the earlier C++ example is, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So here he is increasing the frequency of that particular whatever he got from here, and then checking whether it is present in the list or not. If not, then he'll increase the frequency and put it into the new hash shed, or not linked list, like create
Yeah,
a
it's just moving from one bucket to another, right? In this case.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And that minimum frequency is incrementing. Yeah, so it means this is the easy way to implement as per them, but we have more complex way it can be implemented.
So in interview, if they give us, we need to do it right from scratch till here, right?
I think this is more like a design question for me.
Interactive question will be more, right? More than coding, I think they'll ask.
Maybe you come up with the right data structures and explain like how do you go about them. Maybe I'm just thinking.
But if you see the LRU is implementable also, right?
That is easy. Yeah, it looks a bit easy.
No, it's
not
the
that
same.
easy, but
Not
compared to
easy.
this, it's
It's just the same, I think.
It's
more or less.
almost.
Yeah, the principle is same.
Yeah. But these are very common questions, it seems, Even LFU is common. Okay. We don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the minimum implementation, and then what the other one, what you are showing, that might be the most efficient way of implementing it. Correct.
yeah, that one. I'll have to understand. Because here he has used only a doubly linked list and map, that's it. So we'll check it and then.
No problem. Oh, right. What one get?
Switch to next.
There is also then.
Yeah, I think let's move to the next.
Yeah. Sure. So next is again a design only. So we have to insert get random in O of 1 time. So design a data structure that supports the following operations in O of 1. Insert will insert item to the set if not already present. Will remove item if it is present. And random will give you the random element from current set of elements. And it's guaranteed that at least one element exists when this method is called, and each element must have equal probability of being returned. So initially the set is empty, so they have instantiated it, and then inserting one to the set returns 2 because 1 was inserted successfully. Then 2 was not present but is trying to remove it, so it will return false. Again inserting the 2. Get random should return either 1 or 2. Oh, get random if you do any number, it will, yeah, because probability of any number returning is equal. And removes 1 from the set. Okay, it is already present, so true it will return. Removes. And then 2 was already present in the set, so here again false. And since 2 is the only number in the set, get random always returns 2. Yeah, only one number is there, so that will only be returned. The question is clear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just insert, remove, and get random.
Get random, yeah. Get random will return the element randomly with equal probability. I mean, any element it can pick.
Okay. But here they have not said anything to do with O of 1 implementation, right?
Yeah, they have said here average.
Oh, average O of 1, yeah.
That is a set, it will be of one only, right? Inserting, deleting,
Okay.
then getting the random.
So insert and remove should be very simple in a set, in a unordered set, right? So it will be just insert or you remove it, right? But the only trick is getting a random, because usually what happens means my understanding about random, is I need some, what do you say, sequential data structure, to get anything random. So if it's an array, it's very easy for me to find a random value. I can
Index
just, yeah, it should be indexed properly.
Yeah.
Because if it's a linked list, it is very hard to get a random value there, right? Until we actually convert a linked list to something like a map and all that stuff, but that will be more trickier to do, right? So that actually for a get random, so you'll have to maintain two data structures here also. One will be an array and then the other will be something like a set. But how do we map set an array?
So array you told correct only, right? Index. Yeah, go ahead.
So can you like re-explain why do we need an array for finding the random?
Okay, so the way I was thinking, for a random, what I usually do, use that rand function. Okay, so whenever I do a rand function, I actually get a value, and then I do a modulo of whatever my size of that array is. So I get some index which lies within my range, and then pick that value, which is at that particular index.
Okay.
In O of one time, you can get the random element from array by putting the index. Array of I, if you do give the index, I mean,
Right.
particular element.
Yeah. So actually, yeah. So I can use that way. But then if I have to use a set to just insert and remove it, because that is O of one operation, right? Unordered set. But then how do I map that with the array?
Yeah, you can append at the last. Set order doesn't matter, right? In case of set, if you insert the element, order doesn't matter. So take an array and keep on inserting whenever you dot up. I mean, in Python, it's like dot append.
So I think this is same as LRU cache. We keep an iterator here. Here we will keep an index.
Okay.
Index into the array.
Okay.
So, so it will be,
Removing an element.
so instead of a set, we will use an unordered map, and that will be like key and an index into an array.
Okay, but then if you remove something from that, okay, I think I got to some extent what you're saying. You're saying like you have an unordered map, which will have a key as a value of your whatever your array, and then your value of that map will be an index into that array, correct?
Yes.
Okay, but then, okay, so if I insert will be okay, random also to some extent might be okay, but if I have to remove, so if I remove something in the array, okay, that will be at any position.
Yes.
So how do I take care of that?
So
yeah, because if you remove,
yeah, please.
now I was saying if you remove the element, we'll again have to shift the elements to vacate that. I mean, to obtain that position. So it will be order of n, right?
Yeah, I agree on that.
So I think what we can do is that we can take the last element of the array, put it into that position which we are deleting, and update its index in the unordered map.
Okay. Yeah, that should surely work. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So actually, you just okay. The way we do it for MinHeap, right? Or whenever you want to remove something, we just change that root with the last element and then actually do a EP5, something like that. But here we don't have to do, because we just copy the last element in this current one which we want to delete. Either we swap it or we just copy it, because we can destroy that value, right? Yeah. But then we'll have to, how do we update that in the map also? We'll have to do, okay, do we have to? Yeah, we'll have to change the map, because your new value will be something else, right?
Oh, okay.
So then you'll have to even change that index, because you are actually doing some changes in the keys.
Right. The value has to be updated.
Yeah.
So I think we will have to keep 2 copies of the keys, one in the unordered map and then one in the array, right?
Right. So the key actually is the value. So what we are inserting, So that is, I think that is a very similar to the LRU sort of problem, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So why do we need to store it again in the list? If we have a range of numbers like size, we can do randomize and get a random index and get the value from the map and give it, right?
That is a good one. So you are saying that you take the size of the map, okay, and then you just find what is you get a randomization, and then you get that value in the index. But then how do we get to know in the map? How do we find, it's not index, right? Because we are using an unordered map.
Yeah, but index will be serially, right? We will not have a gaps in between.
For that we were actually using a vector, but if we can do it in single data structure, that will be great. But I'm not sure how to actually, if you are an unordered map, they are not actually stored sequentially like the way are stored in a vector.
Yeah. So if we have a extra list or something, what are we going to do? We're going to use some random function and find the random index and give the value at that position, right?
Right.
So instead of that, we have a size of hash map. So for example, we have a key and a value. Value could be like serially. We'll have a counter like 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 like that. So if we want to remove something in between, we remove that, and as we discussed, we will assign that to the last value to this index, so that we'll have all the index in serial way. We will not have any gaps in between. Then we do a random function, get a random index, and with that index, we have a map with value and it won't work.
Yeah, so map is a problem if we just have a map. Yeah, that is the reason he suggested use a vector or an array or whatever. So we can have a relation. Yeah, that is an additional data structure which looks slightly clumsy, but I think that is the way we think, right?
Dilip, I didn't get the problem. Like, what was the problem with your code?
No,
like,
but
what you suggested?
Even if you get a random index like 10, how will you know the value of that?
So we have this as a key, right? We can use this key to get the value.
Sorry.
So so what you said was we have the map size and we just obtain a random value and do modulo with this map size, right?
Okay, I didn't think of modulo, but okay.
Yeah, but modulo is right. But what he is saying, Harshit, so if your modulo gives you some value, but actually that value what you get from that function is not it is an index. It is not the value what we are looking for.
Right.
Because our map has a mapping of a value with indexes of that which we are storing in the vector, right? But when we do a modulo of the size of the map, because your values might be like 100, 200, and we have a index of 0 and 1 only, right?
Right.
So because the map is the other way, like with 100, 200 and 0 and 1, that is what the mapping is. And if we have a size of 2 and then we do a modulo, we get something value of 0. which actually it doesn't make sense because we can't access that map to find the value and what the index will be, because that is nowhere present, right? Or else we'll have to have another map which will do a reverse mapping.
Santosh, just one more thing. Can we have iterator for a map? Do we have a iterator? We have now.
Iterator for a map, yeah, that's possible.
Yes, so we'll take a random number and we'll divide it by the size of the, we'll divide it with the size of the map, okay? And we initialize the iterator to the beginning of the set, okay? Okay, so whatever the residual random number we get, dividing the size of the number, it will be surely lesser than the size, okay? And as we have initialized our iterator to beginning, we'll add that number and we'll give the output.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, but
yeah,
I think that might be a possibility. Yeah, I agree. But I'm not sure, like when we do the iterator, whether it is an average O of 1. But for us, it is an average O of 1. Yeah, makes sense. I think, yeah, that might be a way to do it. Yes, so Arshid, you are right. So that might be possible too. And Dilip, you are also right. Yeah.
So sorry, so iterator can iterate on the math with O of 1 average time?
But at least it looks right, because whenever we use an iterator, it doesn't say that we are actually, because unordered map is O of 1. Oh, no. So because iterator will go sequentially, even though if we add a value, it will still go through all that values in a O of n.
Every time it would be O of n.
But I guess whenever we have to delete something from a set, usually we write the name of the set dot erase. Either we put the key or either we put the iterator over it, because most of the time if you want to delete something from a set, we iterate through the whole set. Wherever we get to that value, we come out of the loop and then we delete that. So I think this is also a way, and either a second way is just to write the key and it will automatically delete that key number from the set. So I think that should work for
yeah, maybe we should try, and then yeah, that is a good way of trying though, and yeah, maybe possible. So with a single data structure, it might be possible. Yeah, that's a good one. But we'll have to try and find out. If it passes the lead code, at least then we are sure. Okay. So
yeah, I have one implementation.
Yeah, please. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
So here I'm taking one array and the other map for this. And regarding the insert operation, I'm checking first whether that particular value is present in my map or not. So if it is not present, then I'll append that particular value into my array. And what I'll do, this index, corresponding to that particular value, I'll put the index. Length of self, length of nums minus 1. And return true, else if it is present, then we'll return false in that case, because already here return true if that set already contains the element, it already contains the element, then in that case we'll return the false itself, right?
Because you have to insert an item only when it is not present, right?
Not present. Yes. And regarding the remove, so first I'll check whether that element is present in my map or not. So if it is present in my map, then I'm getting the index from the hash map of that particular value and what is the last element of the array. And at that particular index, I'm putting this, the last element, and at the last I'm putting that index. At this last I'm putting the index. And then I'm popping, I'll get the last element by popping it out. And again, to this array, I'm popping the element at that particular index 0. So it will return true, else the other case will return false. Yeah, right.
Okay. So if it is remove, okay. So you are trying to find if the value is in that position map. Okay.
Yeah. So then I'll get what is the index of that particular value in the map.
Okay, and then you are taking the last value of the
Last.
nums array.
And at that particular index, I'm putting the last element, and at last I'm putting that given index.
Okay, you are swapping it here. Okay, you are swapping with the nums array as well as the map also. Okay, and then you are popping the nums as well as the map. Okay.
Map, yes. And regarding the get random, first I've written this random number function which will generate the random number between 0 to the length of the nums, and we'll go to that particular index and pick any number. Like whatever random number it gives you, we'll go to that particular index in the array and then pick that element from there and return it.
Yeah, that is random will be very straightforward. But on your line 28, if you slightly scroll line 28, in this case, when you are popping, you actually need not pop anything from the map. You can just override the value right there, right? Or no? Okay, you'll have to pop. Or yeah,
if I override, then
you'll have to remove or pop. Yeah, you'll have to do one thing. Yeah, that's true. Okay, that is fine.
Yeah, and what is like your in the second part, pos.pop val comma 0. So what is this 0 doing?
0 at 0th index, this particular element will be popped.
Achha, from the back, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so anyway, it's doing a pop. So if you put a 0 there, it will be popping from the last one. Is that what it says?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is what we were almost discussing, right? Yeah, but Devan brought way saying, okay, we can just use a map and then we can do that. So that would be something to work on and see if it works properly. Yeah, but on a high level, this will be fine, correct? For an interview, even we can optimize it further.
Yeah, so one question I have, like, how does LeetCode evaluate whether this function is, throwing equal probable values or not?
Internally,
well, they use that probabilistic algorithms, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So they actually have
this
lots of test cases.
This itself generates the number with equal probability, right? Between 0 to the length of nums.
That's correct. But what Harshit is saying, that how it's being tested, that our probability is the same probability what they are expecting, right?
They might have inbuilt algorithm for that.
Because if you trick them here, you won't pass some of the test cases.
Yeah.
If I did +1, if you do, it will fail.
Yeah.
If you call n times, n all the n numbers should come, right? That way also you can test it. I'm not sure the probability will. For the simplest way, you can if there are n items in a set, you can call n times.
Okay.
Yeah, and the sum should be 1, right?
Yeah, all numbers should be distinct and all should be present.
Oh, so then what I can do is in the get random function, instead of doing all this randomizes thing, I can actually maintain a global value saying, okay, I will now, whatever say I access one element, 2 element, I just maintain some visited array or something like that, and I can maintain that. But in that case, that won't work.
No. I mean, they can call multiple times, right? They can call. I mean, if it is random, if they're calling the n+1 time, your number should also change, right? If you're returning in the same order, then it's not like a random, right?
Yeah. Yep. So we won't be able to. Okay. So there might be a very simple test case. That is what you are trying to say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the. So I mean, any questions in the previous or?
I think we're good. Yeah, because that was the LFU was slightly on the harder part, but the second one was easier, right? At least we were able to crack it down using an LRU and all that stuff. I think there was, and this is implementable in an interview, correct? Yeah, because we were able to do it, so then anyone can do it right now.
LFU will be a bit tricky.
Yeah, LFU slightly. But if you actually pay proper attention to all these things, like yesterday we had some problem, right? The segment tree, we were discussing about it. So all those things, all the data structure are very easy. It's not so difficult, you know. If we just properly pay attention to all of them, then it should be very easy for us to even to, you know, approach them in an interview in a stress environment, I would say.
Breaking them into modules, then it becomes a bit easier.
Because now we are very comfortable implementing a try, right? So it's not a big deal.
Yeah, earlier it was like, I mean, yeah, so our last one is like column title appear in an Excel sheet. We are supposed to return the corresponding column number, like A for 1, B2, C3, and for Z we have 26, and again 27, and so on. So A is 1, AB is 28. Now this coming to ZY, Z is for 26, right? Z1. Y will be for 25. So yeah, that, I mean, we have to find that only how it has like.
Yeah, 25 and then Y. Okay. 26 and 25. Yeah. Okay.
25. Yeah. So that is a question clue here, like how to. So 26 into 25, 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, what maths should we apply here? Right?
I'm sorry.
I mean, what kind of maths logic we'll have to apply here? Is that why to get 791?
Yeah. Oh, what are the constraints they are talking about? Can you just scroll down?
English letters, it will be an uppercase letter, English letters, and S is between A and this FX SH. What is the use of mentioning this?
Maybe that is the max column what Excel might be having.
There might be FX SH.
It's such a weird number. Okay.
X is repeated 2 times. Okay.
And the length of the S is only 7.
Yeah. Yeah, because of this 2 to 4 is.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's more like a rank finding problem, right?
Rank.
So what does rank? I am not very clear about it.
So rank in the sense that position of that given string in the system. Like if you completely write down everything like A, B, C, then till Z, and then from AB to AZ, then BA to BZ, then you keep going on to rank. What is the rank of the particular string?
Dictionary order, you can say, kind of.
Yeah, anything, dictionary order.
Yeah. Like they tell you to find the rank of that particular word in a dictionary. Somewhat.
Yeah, right.
Oh, okay. So
it's more of a, I think, a mathematical, like finding how.
Yeah, we have done this problem and this kind of problem.
Yeah, earlier we have done this.
Okay, so using this string, you can find whatever the value is. That value will be some mapped in some dictionary or somewhere, right?
Right. So if this string is given like ZY, then we can mathematically find the rank of one before, like Y till YZ we can easily find, and then we have to carefully tread along that ZA till ZY, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
this is like numeric number system itself, right? Instead of keeping,
With the
instead
different
of
base.
it's a decimal, yeah, instead of decimal, it is the base is like 26 or something.
Right.
Yeah. So we are using a similar thing in the rolling hash map, rolling maps, right? Rolling hash function, sorry.
Rolling hash, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was a subset of that. Yeah. Okay. So this problem looks really easy the way they say, right?
Yeah, only we have to go on that this equation how to.
Yeah.
I mean, not this equation. Like here, it work. There could be many other ways to do.
Mm-hmm. So the way Uday was saying, like just it's like a decimal way in numerical representation, but here it's only using the 26 as a base instead of 10. Right?
Yeah. So I didn't, this didn't strike to me. So I had to I've used this digit DB method to get to this.
Oh, really? You are able to implement that? No, that would be a great way to think about it.
I think it's an overkill, but yeah, I got it.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem. But at least we should be using it more frequently. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you want to just show that also?
Yeah.
Okay.
Forgot the concept also.
Yeah.
This one, right?
Yeah.
So till as I said, okay, I also forgot this. I did this long time back. So basically, this is the part where I said that, for example, we have to find for say ZY, then from A till YZ, we can obtain that using the formula, right? Because for A, we'll have 26 till like this. For A to Z, it would be 26, right? And then from then we'll have AA to AZ, that also would be 26. Then this way, right? So we can get to this YA to YZ. Right. So I've just done that in this added and multiplied by this 26.
Okay.
Yeah, because I can also have B right here, BA till BZ, right?
Yeah.
So basically I'm trying out every character at this position, and then multiplying it. So I get this. I'll get for everything. Like now I have to do for this ZA to ZY. So basically this is the restricted part. Like if we go by Rogers template, now I have some restrictions for this particular position, right? Like here we had Z. So suppose we had say B here, right? So we had to find for BA. Then at this position, I couldn't have allowed C, right? So I couldn't have allowed C here. That was not allowed. So this is where the restriction part comes in. So I've made this function and I've passed these three variables. So this is the restricted part. Now I come here. So it's the same now, the position and the count and the restricted. Now I'm doing this thing here. Like if the restriction is 1, then this would be the range. And that's more, then I'm increasing the count, because I'm exploring for all the valid answers now. Now I'm increasing the count, and if it's this, so I'm turning 1.
Template is fixed for that, right?
So position count restricted, okay, and the position greater than num size.
So if there's no limit, then I'll go for every character at this position.
Okay, yeah, you're calling it recursively.
Yeah.
Mhm. Hmm. Mhm.
It's a nice one. Like,
Yeah.
so it's the same template, right? Just you change the for loop, but
Yeah. Everything is same. We change something here only, like most of the times.
most
This
of the
part.
time.
This part we have to figure out from the question. And
Hmm.
yeah, but I think we can remove these states. We do not need count and restricted because this is just one variable. Like we can pass a variable also, but I'm just like using that template, so going with the flow.
No, that's good. Like, I mean, you won't confuse. I mean, it speaks.
So this is that memoized part, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
If it is not present, then it is.
Okay.
Sorry, if it is present, then is returned. If it is not equal to -1, then it's returned.
So the limit should be lesser than I. Okay, your limit is coming.
Here,
Okay, so your limit will be if the restricted is 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it will be like your whatever that position minus A, or it will be the fixed value. Okay.
Right.
Hmm. Yeah, because you are having that Y, therefore your restriction will come here.
Yeah.
Then you just want to traverse still that portion, and therefore you are doing it one by one.
Yeah.
Wow. Now I'm actually getting some about it. So you applied it over here.
Basically, I'm going through all the numbers. Like the way Shashank was doing, he was doing mathematically. I'm like going through every number one by one.
Yeah.
And then hitting this part and returning one.
Mm-hmm. So, but do you do a quantum jump earlier? What you did for that particular buckets, and then you just came to the very focused bucket, and then you are doing a digitp over that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could have somehow used this in this code also, but I handled this separately.
But that will be a too much of time complexity, right? Mm-hmm.
Right.
This is also overkill for this problem, but still, I mean.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but understanding for digitdp, so the very easy test cases, implementations are really, this is a good one to implement. Okay, I will also try now the same one. Okay, and then I'll try to see if I can share. Yeah. Yep. I think this is a good one. Yeah, thanks.